You noticed it on day 4. Not the silence from the highway. Not the dead cell towers. Not the way the night suddenly felt a lot bigger without that orange glow on the horizon. You noticed the smell. At first, it was just a sour edge to the air when you stepped out onto the back porch. The kind of thing you'd blame on a neighbor's trash can in the old world. But the truck stopped coming 2 weeks ago. There are no neighbors putting out bins at the curb. There is no curb. There's just you. And the pile. Black contractor bags, duct-taped and stacked by the fence like you planned. Food wrappers, cans, plastic, diapers, paper towels soaked with God knows what. Kitchen scraps you didn't bother composting because you told yourself it was temporary. Just until this blows over. Only it didn't. On day 7, you see the first rat in broad daylight, bold as a stray cat, running along the fence line, vanishing behind your trash stack. That night, when you step out with your red lens, you catch the eye shine. 4, 5, 8 pairs of eyes low to the ground, watching, waiting, feeding. The flies arrive next. Not a few. Clouds. By day 10, the air has weight. You open the back door and it hits you like stepping into a hot, wet rag. Rot, feces, sour milk, meat you don't remember throwing away. You catch yourself breathing shallow just to get to the shed and back. Inside, you've still got your gear squared away. Ammo dry, food rotated, water stored, medical kit staged. You did everything the books and forums told you to do, but you didn't plan the one thing your old life quietly took care of for you every week. Waste. Your kid coughs in the next room, and for the first time since the grid went down, you're not thinking about looters or gangs or government overreach. You're thinking about disease. Typhus, cholera, dysentery. Words that used to live in history books and third world documentaries now have a direct line into your living room, via a leaking trash bag 20 yards from your door and downhill from your well. You walk the perimeter with your rifle and your flashlight, trying not to gag as a breeze pushes the stink into your face. You see the trails through the grass where the rats run. You see where something's been dragging torn plastic deeper into the tree line. You see flies lifting in black waves off one particular bag that looks wet. You realize this isn't a nuisance. It's an operational failure. The grid went down and you hardened your defenses, but you never established a waste protocol. You've created a biological kill zone, and you're living inside the blast radius. Here's the hard truth most preppers never war game. In a real SHTF event, your trash will try to kill you long before a marauder ever sights you in. Poor hygiene, uncontrolled waste, vectors you can't see until you're already sick. That's what's taken out more soldiers, more survivors, than bullets ever did. So ask yourself, right now, honestly, if pickup stopped today, how many days before your own homestead starts turning toxic? Where does your garbage go? What do you burn? What do you bury? And what's sitting 10 feet from your back door, quietly fermenting a biohazard you're going to have to breathe? If that answer makes you even a little uneasy, stay with me. In this briefing, we're going to break down the trash crisis step by step, how it starts, how fast it escalates, and the exact operational rules you need in place before the trucks stop rolling. First, we're going to strip this down to reality, how long you actually have, and what happens when you cross that red line. Picture this. The power's been out for 10 days. No trucks, no pickups, no city services. You've got your food squared away, water filtered, security team rotating watch. On paper, you're solid. But out back, behind the garage, the black bags are piling up like sandbags in a war zone. You tell yourself it's temporary. You'll figure it out when things calm down. Here's the problem. Things aren't going to calm down. At first, the trash just looks inconvenient. Coffee grounds, food scraps, plastic packaging, used paper towels, some broken packaging from ammo and canned goods. But organic waste doesn't care about your plans. Within 48 to 72 hours, those bags are warming up from bacterial activity. The plastic traps moisture and heat. Inside, microbes explode in number, breaking down food, releasing gases. You slice one open, and that first sour wave hits your nose, sharp and sweet and rotten all at the same time. That smell is more than unpleasant, it's intelligence, and it's broadcasting. Flies arrive first, guided by scent from surprisingly long distances. They land, feed, lay eggs. Maggots hatch, accelerate decomposition, and now every time a fly comes off that pile and lands on your toothbrush, your cup, a cut on your hand, it's a potential delivery system for typhoid, dysentery, cholera. A week in, the rats arrive, lean, hungry, fearless from months of living off human waste in the city. They chew through bags like tissue, track filth everywhere, and they don't care if it's 2 in the afternoon or 2 in the morning. Think you're remote enough that no one will notice? Wind doesn't care. Odors ride air currents right into someone else's AO. To a desperate starving family or a half-feral looter crew, that rot smell mixed with cooked food is a flare in the night. People are here. Supplies are here. Follow the scent. Now overlay another layer of risk. You've got kids, maybe an older parent, maybe someone with asthma or a compromised immune system. That pile of "we'll deal with it later" is quietly turning your safe house into a petri dish. Respiratory infections from mold, gastrointestinal disasters from contaminated surfaces, skin infections from small cuts exposed to dirty runoff after a rain. And in a grid-down scenario, there's no urgent care, no fast antibiotics if you burn through what little you stored or they expire. Here's the question that matters. Have you actually wargamed this? Or have you just assumed we'll burn it and moved on? Because not everything can be burned, and not everything should be buried. Some items create toxic smoke. Some attract animals even when buried shallow. Some need to be sealed so tight they might as well be biohazard. Most preppers have shelves dedicated to ammo loadouts, water filters, radios. How many of you have a real written step-by-step trash protocol for day 3, day 10, day 30 of no services? If garbage pickup stopped tonight, how long before your perimeter smells like a dump? If you're feeling that little itch in the back of your mind right now, that's good. That means you're still thinking like a survivor, not a victim. Because the next move is critical. You need to turn this vague worry into a controlled system. In a minute, we're going to break down exactly how to do that. Establishing a dedicated dirty zone, what gets burned, what gets buried, and what has to disappear into airtight containment if you want your home to stay off the casualty list. You step into the dirty zone at dawn, and it looks like a forward operating base. Nothing here is accidental. Every bag, every barrel, every shallow trench is mapped in your head, because this is where your mistakes come to collect interest. The burn barrel is cold steel in the morning light. You pop the lid, check yesterday's ash. No half-melted plastics, no greasy clumps, just fine gray powder. That tells you your fire was hot and clean, not a chemical signal flare to half the county. You sift a little between your fingers, then sprinkle it over last night's food scraps in the compost trench. Layering ash cut smell kills fly eggs and slows bacteria. This is the difference between controlled decomposition and a disease factory. A fly lands on your glove. Then another. You clock it immediately. That's intel. Yesterday's loads were heavier, more protein, more meat scraps. You made the right call keeping that away from camp. You glance back toward your living area, just visible through the tree line, and you're glad the wind is pushing stink away from your people, not toward them. Your buddy comes up behind you, rifle slung, eyes tired. "You really think this trash thing is that big a deal?" he asks. You don't answer right away. You kick dirt over a sealed bag in the burial trench, listening to the faint crinkle of plastic under the soil. "Big enough that it'll kill you before the bullets do," you say. "You smell that? That's not just garbage. That's a beacon." He sniffs the air, frowns. "Smells like a dump." "Exactly," you reply. "Think like the guy who hasn't eaten in 2 days, or the pack of dogs running on instinct, or a rat following a scent trail. They don't smell trash. They smell calories. They smell weakness. They smell a human nest." You gesture to the perimeter. Trip lines, hanging cans, improvised noisemakers tied near the trash path. You manage your waste, or your waste manages you. Odor, vectors, and visibility. Those are your 3 enemies out here. He nods slowly, taking it in. "So what's the actual rule set then? Burn, bury, seal? How do you decide?" "That's the part that gets people killed," you say. "You burn the wrong thing, you advertise. You bury the wrong thing, you breed disease. You seal the wrong thing, you build a bomb of rot inside your own perimeter. You squat by the barrel and tap it with your knuckle. There are hard rules, operational rules. You follow them. You keep your AO clean, your people healthy, your footprint low. You ignore them, and this place turns on you. You look him dead in the eye. Walk with me, we're going to break this down like a mission brief. What gets fire, what gets earth, and what ever gets opened again once it's sealed. Because if you get this wrong, your trash won't just give you away. You pause, listening to the distant caw of a crow, the buzz of early flies building along the tree line. It'll finish what the grid going down started. So here's where this all lands. When the grid dies, the world doesn't instantly turn into a gunfight. It turns into a slow rot. The fantasy is bullets and heroics. The reality is infections, flies, and the quiet stench of people who didn't think trash mattered. Picture your retreat 2 weeks into a hard blackout. Generators silent. Water hauled by hand. You've tightened up your routines, reduced your footprint. Out by the tree line, your dirty zone is controlled and quiet. Ash pit cold, burial trench tamped down, lime dusted over yesterday's load, lids tightly sealed on anything that can't be burned or buried. It's not glamorous, but it's the difference between a functioning hide and a sickness factory. You step the perimeter at dusk. You pause, listen. No buzz of flies clouding one spot. No constant rat scurry where it shouldn't be. No sweet, rotting smell drifting toward the house or the creek. That silence, you earned it with discipline, with planning, with the willingness to treat trash like a tactical threat, not an afterthought. Because that's what this is. This isn't taking out the garbage. This is signature management, biohazard control, force preservation. You manage your waste, you protect your people, you neglect it, you paint a target on your location, your health, and your future. So ask yourself right now, if pickup stopped tonight, how many days could you keep your trash from turning against you? Do you have a designated dirty zone mapped in your head? Do you have ash, lime, heavy bags, lids that truly seal? Or would you be improvising while the flies are already landing on your food storage and the neighbors start smelling exactly where you are? If this brief exposed a weak link in your plan, that's good. That's the point. This is where you upgrade your standard operating procedure before reality stress tests it for you. And if you're serious about tightening your survival chain, there's one more biological threat you can't ignore. Because everything we just covered about trash, it gets magnified when your toilet stops working. Your next mission is critical. Biohazard alert. Why your toilet will kill you. SHTF. Don't wait for the smell to teach you the lesson.